I have recently come across an article called 10 Reasons to Buy Palantir Stock Now. So I want to have a read through this article and we can discuss what we think. Okay, so let's have a look here. Software company Palantir participates in data science, AI and machine learning, the demand for which is off the charts. The company's technology is used in applications like anti-money laundering, automotive and mobility, data protection, defense, federal health, government, financial and much more, demonstrating how versatile their software is. Yes, agnostic. We love that. While tech stocks lead in the broader market higher in 2024, with the tech stocks, you may be looking to jump on the bandwagon. Investing in Palantir is one way to do that. It isn't a one-trick pony. It's been around for a long haul. It's been around for a long time. People just don't know that. With a $53 billion market cap, Palantir has been recognized as an industry leader in segments like these as following: rewarding investors with a 41% year-to-date increase in the stock price. Here are 10 reasons why you might want to consider buying Palantir stock now. So number 1, co-founder at the helm. Palantir was created in 2003 by several co-founders, including Alex Karp, who has been called sheer brilliant by former CIA Director David Petraeus. Karp, who is CEO, has served in various executive capacities over the year. But one thing that has remained is his presence has been constant for over 2 decades, giving investors a sense of continuity and stability. Karp hasn't taken his foot off the innovation pedal and is confident about the future performance of the company. Okay, so the whole idea of this basically is that Palantir is a founder-led company. One of the founders that were there back in the day is still leading the company today. People have different opinions on how important having a founder-led company is. I don't think that it's the most important thing ever, but I do actually see quite a lot of value in having a founder-led company. So why is it a good thing? Well, number 1, founders usually have a long-term perspective and commitment to the company. You know, they've been around the company since the start and they want it to do well in the long term in terms of innovation and growth. You know, they care deeply about this company. It's kind of like their little baby. They want to nurture it. They want to see it grow up well. They're not just there for a season, come in and then go make some money. It's not really like that for them. And also, because they've been around for such a long time, they understand the company and, more importantly, maybe the industry that the company is in more than anyone else. And Alex Karp, as an example, has seen Palantir transition from just providing software to the government to now having an entire commercial segment that is growing very, very well. They've also been through many hard times with the company. They understand what it takes to get the company out of struggles, and they've come out the other side of that time and time again. And I'm sure this is the case for Palantir as well. And also, they've got the founder's mentality, which is kind of like frontline obsession often. Number 2, Peter Thiel. Most companies, billionaire venture capitalist Peter Thiel touches turns to gold, including Palantir. Famous for founding PayPal and receiving a $100 million windfall at the IPO, Thiel is also a co-founder of Palantir, currently serving as chairman. Earlier this year, he sold approximately $175 million of his Palantir holdings, but considering his total holdings prior to selling $3.4 billion, he is still heavily invested in the company. According to Bloomberg, he holds 7% of Palantir, making it the single biggest asset he owns. Okay, so he is one of the co-founders of Palantir, and he has also served as the chairman on the board of directors since 2003. So just like Alex Karp, he has been involved in this company for a very long time. He's had many successes, as this article points out, but some other ones alongside PayPal include Facebook, Airbnb, and SpaceX. So why is this a reason to buy Palantir stock? Well, I don't think it is one of the most important reasons. I definitely don't think that it should be number 2 on this list. There are many other things that we could discuss with Palantir. But you know, he has got credibility. He has got a good track record. But I think their point is that it gives investors a stronger sense of confidence. If he thinks the company's going to do well and he's got a good track record, then maybe it will end up doing well. I guess that's the point they're going with here. We've got to remember as well, he is a man with a lot of connections. He has a big network and he has influence within the tech space and the investment community. And this can open doors for Palantir in terms of partnership, investments, and other opportunities. Number 3, clients and partnerships galore. Palantir requires entire events to unveil its newest customers, boot camps, and product innovations. At the company's latest AIP Con event, the 4th of its kind over the past 12 months, yes, that's pretty big, they're becoming very frequent, Palantir revealed the newest customers using its software, including high-profile companies like, and you can see here, Another client is Tampa General Hospital, which is using Palantir's data, blah, 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 blah. And the CEO said, Palantir is changing the DNA of our institution. This is obviously a very important thing to know about Palantir. It's a very important reason to invest or not invest in Palantir. Their revenue growth, their client growth, they're bringing in more clients as time goes on. And obviously this then feeds into their top and bottom line, which is important. And they've got a lot of big known companies now wanting to work with them and working with them. And these big companies are likely, we don't always know this, likely to represent more money into Palantir. And also, it's a sense of validation for us investors. Seeing Palantir securing partnerships with really, really well-known, successful and respected companies shows us that Palantir is, effective in what they're doing, which can then eventually draw in more customers, because if a big company is saying Palantir's software has helped us save this much money or done this for our business, more other big customers are likely to look at that and think, you know what, I want a piece of that cake as well. And this is exactly what we're seeing at the AIP Con events. We are hearing positive customer testimonials. And also what this is showing us is industry diversification. They mentioned there just a couple of companies, but Palantir's solutions are now being spread across many, many different verticals, many different sectors, and that is great to see. Number 4, AI affiliation. Palantir is behind its own artificial intelligence platform, AIP. Many companies and government agencies have integrated Palantir's AI tools, and the list is growing. At AIP Con, dozens of companies that use Palantir's AIP volunteered to present to the audience on how they're harnessing the technology. Yeah, and they're not getting paid to do that. They're not getting paid. They want to do that. Palantir's AI events are a home run, helping to drive enterprise sales at a critical juncture in the industry. I think the whole point in this one is they have this product that's relatively new called AIP, and it's in very strong demand. Why is it in demand? Well, because it's making a real difference. It is giving artificial intelligence alongside ontology to actually be useful to enterprises. I keep saying this, but it's not just a nice to have, it's actually changing things. Number 5, revenue growth. In Q1, Palantir generated a revenue of $634 million, a 21% year-over-year increase. Investors should pay attention to the company's commercial revenue, which has been on the rise. This is important because its US government contract sales are not quite what they used to be. So Palantir will need to capture more sales from the enterprise segment to continue its growth trajectory. In Q1, Palantir made $150 million in sales from its commercial segment, a 40% increase year over year. Okay, here's the thing about this one. Yes, they're right. The commercial side of Palantir is growing really well. They have made this common thing that we keep seeing, which is, okay, well, the commercial side's doing well, the government side is suffering. I don't really see it like that. I think naturally there will always be one each quarter that comes by whereby, the commercial or the government are doing better than the other. That happens, and it will hopefully it will continue to be the commercial moving forward, but it has been, either or before. I think they're both doing well, but we also have the argument that we might want to see more revenue growth moving forward. Revenue is a lagging indicator. Some companies that are in their early days, our growth companies like Palantir, are seeing better revenue growth than 21% year over year, but it's trending in the right direction. And I think as well, recently, we've had a lot of big government contracts, so I'm really excited to see them show up. Number 6, net income growth. In Q1, Palantir reported record profits of $106 million, the best performance since the company's inception. As Karp explained in an investor letter, for comparison, we now earn more profit in a single quarter than the amount of revenue we generated in an entire year a little more than a decade ago. When I saw that in the letter recently, I loved that. That really shows how far they've truly come. Palantir have now delivered 6 consecutive quarters of GAAP profitability. And seeing them become GAAP profitable was a really exciting time in the Palantir investor community. It's like this switch that happens. And of course, they're eligible for the S&P 500 now. Haven't had inclusion yet, but I expect it to come in the future. But just thinking about growing net income in general and achieving record profits, this is directly increasing shareholder value. We should absolutely care about this. We should really, really enjoy seeing the company become more profitable and more financially stable as time goes on. And it's really interesting, isn't it? Because time and time again, retail investors have invested into a company before it's actually showing GAAP profitability. And quite a lot of big funds, institutional money, won't touch those companies before they're GAAP profitable. That's like sort of a rule that they seem to have. And this happened with Palantir, and it happened, I'm sure, with Tesla as well, and many other companies. Number 7, buy an opportunity. While Palantir stock is trading at a frothy valuation that is typical for growth stocks, in early May, Palantir stock dipped by approximately 16% in response to a revenue forecast that fell below Wall Street's bullish estimates. Yes, I don't know how justified that was, but also we have had two good examples in February and in May, was it? I don't know, February, whatever, whereby after earnings, the stock went crazy up because the earnings were just so good. But Palantir has a habit of beating estimates, so the company could just be playing it cool for now. In the short term, Palantir's Q2 revenue forecast is in the range of this, while its full-year outlook is this. Long-term forecasts are even more bullish, including predictions for revenue to rise a whopping 150% over the next 5 years, or a compound annual growth rate of 30% through 2028. Considering revenue is a driver of earnings growth, this forecast performance should underpin the rising Palantir stock price. Yes, there was quite a fall after the May earnings because they didn't increase guidance as much as the market wanted. I thought that was a good buying opportunity. I was buying more there. I wasn't seeing any problems in the underlying fundamental business. But Karp has recently actually said all the value in the market will go to chips and ontology. We've already kind of seen the value go towards chips in terms of we've seen Nvidia go absolutely crazy. Is it going to now be time to see money move into the companies actually providing ontology and pairing ontology with LLMs to actually allow enterprises to use it, refine it, and imposing that onto your enterprise whilst upholding the highest levels of security? Obviously, we've also seen Palantir in the recent few days, Palantir stock go up a lot in the recent few days, which you can watch my yesterday's video if you want to know why that's been happening. But people are saying now, is it too overvalued? Is it trading at too much of a premium? Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Number 8, customer list. Palantir has an impressive customer list, one that includes US government agencies like the FBI, FDA, NSA, CIA, as well as other government agencies. In fact, the US government is Palantir's largest client and has been relying on the company's data to guide their decisions for years. Palantir recently inked a 5-year partnership with the US Department of Defense worth a cool $480 million. Yeah, that was a pretty big deal. While new competitors have entered the fray for government contracts, Palantir continues to win over clients in the private sector. 3 recent additions include these companies here, all of which signed for Palantir's AI capabilities. The thing with government contracts is they're often very long-term contracts and they're providing sticky revenue, giving Palantir somewhat of revenue stability. This is really, really beneficial. And also it shows us the credibility of Palantir and just how trustworthy they are because government organizations wouldn't just work with anyone. And this then feeds into the fact that Palantir are one of only 3 companies in the entire world to have impact level 6 clearance. And this is definitely a reason that I invest into Palantir, how diversified their customer list is. Like I said, agnostic across many segments, and they have their government side and their commercial side, so there's diversification in their revenue streams as well. Let's move on to the last 2. Stock momentum. Palantir stock has soared 200% over the past 12 months. While most Wall Street analysts are cautious on Palantir, owing to its rich valuation, the stock has momentum on its side. Generative AI, including chatbot demand, isn't going to subside anytime soon. They are not just giving chatbot solutions. They're doing much more than that. As companies and governments alike continue to invest heavily in this area, Palantir has established history with government agencies and are now focusing on expanding the government enterprise business, which is likely to continue growth and drive the share price up more in the future. Yeah, I think this is important. I think this whole AI revolution is happening. But I think more importantly than that is it's had a lot of hype, right? And a lot of companies that provide AI solutions in any capacity have done well. We're going to see this sort of shift. We're going to see money move from companies that are providing AI solutions that are more like chatbots, soft AI, not really being that useful, into companies like Palantir that are actually making a difference to the enterprise. I think that's what we're going to see happen, and Palantir are obviously positioning themselves really well for this. But I do think the general trend is artificial intelligence, and every enterprise is rising their the amount that they're willing to spend on this. And then lastly, potential S&P 500 inclusion. I won't read this one because we know about this. They haven't been included yet. They are eligible. It's just a matter of time. It will probably rise the stock price in the short term especially, but more importantly than that, it's just a really big thing for a company to be added to an index like the S&P 500. It's a big milestone to hit, and it will bring in a lot of institutional money as well. Let me know what your top 3 reasons are for investing into Palantir in the comments below. If you want to watch these episodes ad-free, get exclusive and extended content and a bunch of other perks, become an insider of the Inner Circle Vault. Link in the description.